Anyat Shreyo, Anyadutaiva Preyaha. Shreyas is one path. And there is one more path, which is Preyas. These words you all try to understand first. Preyas means different ways, something that is lovable, something that is pleasurable, something that is delightful. Generally, we are referring here to things that is sensually attractive, emotionally kind of, pleasurable. So that is the Preyas. Then there is Shreyas. Shreyas is the higher path, meaning something which is good, something which is better, something which is the loftier way, the higher way, the sublime way. That is a path here. Shreya is one path. Preya is another path. Te ube nanartha si nitaha purusham. They lead a person on different destinations. So each of this leads somewhere else. So let's say you are going to somewhere from middle of India, like you're coming from Madhya Pradesh, somewhere Ujjain or Mumbai somewhere. So the one road is leading towards Delhi. In other roads, it's leading to Chennai. So, but it can go so many other routes. Although it is leading there, the direction is there. It can go so many other routes. So both of them are going different routes and they different ways they go. And they bind the person. How does it bind? One of them, tayo shreyo adadhanasya sadhu bhavati. That one of them makes them a sadhu. Not sadhu here doesn't mean like a sannyasi. So you don't have to all worry. It just makes that person a good person, a better person, a nicer person. Then the other one, hiyate tadhya u preyo vrinite. The other one, the other person who chooses prayers is actually going downward. He is deprived. He is caught in this artha, the four kind of pursuits of human life. Artha is the lowest pursuit. And next is that kama, desires, passions. Then comes dharma, and then comes moksha. So literally, if you want to take it, that of artha and kama is through prayas, the path of prayas. Material welfare, all our desires, worldly desires, passions, that is through the path of prayas. And the path of Shreyas leads us to the sublime thing, practicing of dharma, going towards moksha, the final ultimate happiness. Okay, this is the first mantra, and we'll look at the second mantra, and then I will go into detail. Shreyascha prayascha manushya. So that Shreya and Preya, both of these are accessible, available to every human being. It is a choice. Every person at every point in life has this choice. Whether he will take the path of Shreyas, the sublime, higher good path, or that path of lower good, pleasurable, immediately gratifying path. Samparityatau. But one samparityatau dhiraha vivinakti hi dhiraha. The one who is a dhira, an intelligent person. A dhira literally means a bold person. But here you can say an intelligent person is one who has chosen, has clearly understood and done viveka, has done discernment, discrimination. And what else? Abhivrunite shreyaha preyasaha. So he chooses the shreyas from prayas. He is very clear and he chooses shreya. But those who choose prayas, what happens? They are mandaha, meaning they are of less intellect. They are not spiritually wise. They are not just spiritually wise, they're just generally, overall, they don't have the longer vision of life, the fuller vision of life. So they are manda. Vrinite Preyaha. They choose prayers. Why? Because Yoga Kshemat. They want Yoga Kshema, meaning that they want to acquire more things. And things they have, they want to preserve. So this word Yoga Kshema is a very famous, is a very common said even in Bhagavad Gita. This comes where the Lord says that Ananyas Chintayanto Yanto Mam Yejana Paryupasate Te Sham Nitya Viyuktanam Yogakshemam Mahamyam. So the one who thinks of me, who dwells in me, I take care of their well-being. I take care of all their needs, and what they have also, I protect it for them. So that is the same here, similar context here. People who are worried too much about those things, what they have and how they hold on to that, they do not expect that things are gained through the blessings or their own good karma. That is what they have made it accessible for them. But the people who are so concerned on that, they choose for that immediate good, the path of lesser good. See, this is a very common thing, and we see this in the old stories also, whether in Indian or Western stories, choosing that which is literally, we can say, good versus evil. Choosing that seemingly is, appeasing to the senses, ego, and other things, versus choosing that which is sublime. See, for the stories of India, in the Ramayana, the Kaikeyi, who was the wife of Dasharatha, she has a choice whether Rama is supposed to become the king. She knows he's an able one, but her immediate son, Bharata, so her attendant kind of, puts that thought in her mind and says that your son has to become the king, not your foster son, because so that is that choice, that delusion. And there is also in the Greek stories that the story of Hercules, it's famously called the choice of Hercules, where he's tempted by the angel and the devil kind of thing. This angel and the devil thing is very popular depictions, what do we choose? And there are maybe movies made on that, like many, there's this, some popular movies, that one you can choose this pill or that pill and you get certain benefits. So all these are very common, ways, illustrations people have done over the ages. But here the definition of that path from in Vedantic or an Upanishad perspective, what are they? So these are the two divergent paths. So here, in one way, it is not like, I balance this and I balance that. It is either you choose this or you choose that. So if you choose that path of Shreyas, meaning that good, then that Preyas might follow. But if you choose the path of Preyas, that of sense and ego gratification, you will not get spiritual benefits. You will not also have that. So, in fact, all the things we get in our life, it is based on some good merits. All the wealth we have, or family, all the things that Nachiketa was offered is based on merits for most people. So, but what happens once people have that, then they forget it and they yield to this lesser ways of appeasing the senses. Because the way every act, of mental choice and indulgence, it creates an impression. The impression of sense indulgence is so powerful that it drives people to keep on choosing that again and again. But the impression of spiritual thing, it is also powerful. But what happens is on a daily basis, unless one discriminates, they are not able to immediately choose, that impressions remains dormant. And this is what happens many times, that people, as they become rich or as they become popular, they forget, and then they they yield to the way of the senses, and whether in this life or next life, they lose all that wealth or all the things they have, and they're back to poverty to learn again the lessons of life. And this is the whole game that keeps going on again and again. So Shreyas, again, put it subtly, is in a spiritual way. What is it? At a most basic level, it is like doing good for others, doing the karma yoga. The what we say, karma yoga also is a part of Shreyas. In fact, that in the fifth chapter, Bhagavan say, Sannyasa karma yogascha nishreyasa nishreya karya karavubhav. That nishreya means definite shreyas, nishchita shreya. Sometimes it is called nishreyas. So there again, what that all the things Bhagavan is saying, bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga, studying of scriptures, doing spiritual practices, all that is part of Shreyas. And of course, living a dharmic life, a good life, doing good to others, following that yama niyama, all that is also part of that Shreyas. So now, subtly put, let us differentiate to understand this better. So in one simple words, Shreyas is that which leads to Atma Sukha, that which is permanent, leading to inner freedom, spiritual freedom. Preyas is that which leads to Anatma Sukha, meaning the Vishaya Sukha. It is not permanent. It is that kind of joys of life that come and go. Like you might have a very good meal, or you might have some movie you might watch, but it's only a small time you enjoy. And then what? You are left again back to that formal state, and with that kind of an addictive tendency to again indulge in that. So that Preyas creates this three things. One is it creates dukkha, pain, because you have another kind of addiction. And then there is atrupta. You don't feel content. You feel I need more and more. And from that also comes ragadvesha, likes and dislikes. So that is that path of Preyas, Shreyas is followed by all the sadhakas, sadhus, as he says, rishis. Preyas is followed by the world. We don't need to learn to follow Preyas. It is a very instinctive way. Just as how any animal seeks out for food, carnal indulgence and sleep. So everybody naturally seeks that out. And so it is instinctive. And Shreyas requires the use of wisdom. Humans have this capacity, which animals don't have. And when they exercise this wisdom in a spiritual way, so see, there is wisdom, the worldly wisdom is also there. People have worldly wisdom to help them get more Preyas. That is not Shreyas wisdom. The Shreyas wisdom is almost like, as he says, dhira, an intelligent person learns to let go rather than to hold on more. This is a difference between the spiritual wisdom. The person who is spiritually mature realizes that the more he gives, the more he lets go, the more he progresses. The worldly wisdom is not that way. The worldly wisdom is you hold on more and more. You protect yourself, as it says here, yoga kshema. You try to acquire what you don't have, and you try to hold on to more tightly to what you have. Okay, and then the other way is that it is a jnana marga. Shreyas is more of a jnana marga. It leads to nivritti, meaning you become more and more closer to your true self, your true nature. You're not so much concerned about those three ashanas that we get in the world, that of seeking, seeking wealth and so on. And then there is the, um, the, uh, as I mentioned before, that path of prayers, will not include Shreyas, but the path of Shreyas may include prayers, such as like Janaka and all, they all had all the riches, but yet he had self-realization. Vasishtha, the sage, he had Kamadhenu with him, and Vishwamitra was so attracted by that. Kamadhenu is that cow which can give you anything you want, and that was that was given to a sister. So, and he was a sage. He was living so simply in the forest. And Shreyas increases your free will in a way. See, the ability to exercise our discernment means that we have that free will. So our capacity for free will increases when you keep exercising Shreyas, you keep choosing Shreyas. But if you keep choosing Preyas, what happens? Not only will your free will decrease, you will run into more conflict in every decision of life. Every decision of life, you are driven by those habitual patterns to seek that what is good for yourself, your senses. So the other thing about Preyas is that it keeps something that is not just about sense pleasures, it's also about enhancing the ego. So, you want bigger recognition, bigger identity. And this is not just a worldly thing, sometimes even some sadhus, right? They will want all sorts of big places, ashrams, and all those things. I mean, of course, if it is to help others, it's okay, but it shouldn't be for the ego. The idea with seeking Shreyas is that you are seeking the welfare of the world and that you are surrendering to the divine. So that sense of humility comes for a one who chooses Shreyas. And all others, include this Preyas include endless desires, and they are the ones who seek that Shringan that Yama gave Nachiketa. It is the ones who really get attracted to that are those who are seeking Preyas. But those who seek Shreyas are like Nachiketa, who say, Varastu me varaniyasa eva. I want only that boon of wisdom, that boon of Brahma Vidya, that knowledge of self which will free me, which will give me that moksha, which will give me liberation. So people who seek Shreyas will be unflinchingly committed to this thing of seeking this path. So this is, in a nutshell, the difference between the path of Shreyas and the path of Preyas.